Hi, I'm going to demonstrate making cold noodles with sesame sauce. Actually, what I'm going to do is just do the dressing and take you through the steps and how I do this whole process. There is a lot of ingredients to this, so I will go over each of the ingredient and you can get a kind of an idea of the brands that I am using. To start off with, I use pure sesame oil. Then I use 3 different types of soy. This is a light soy which has less sodium. This is a dark soy, and this is regular soy in a squeeze bottle. Honey, creamy peanut butter, Joyva sesame tahini. This is rice wine vinegar, and behind it is regular vinegar. Rice wine vinegar is 4.5% in acidity. Regular vinegar, which is the bottle behind it, the Heinz, is 5% acidity. I've never made this dish with the regular Heinz, but in a pinch you could possibly do that. Just realize that your acidity is going to be a little bit stronger. I use a very dry sherry. There are different types of sherry, and this is a Sheffield. I'm using 0.9 ounces of garlic, and this is 0.8 ounces of ginger. I use a regular blender, and for the benefit of anybody who wants to reproduce this, I mean, do exactly what I've done, I'm going to measure out the weight of the blender and the top, and tear that out so that we have exact measurements of each of the ingredients. Let's get to work. I don't think I need the top, so I'm going to take that away. And the blender weighs 3 pounds, 2.2 ounces. Okay? And I'm going to remove that weight from the measurement, so I just have just the weight of, right now this is reading 0. The other thing I just want to just double check is the calibrations on the side of my blender here. And I have marks for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 cups. And I just want to make sure that the mark on the blender is where I'm reading it correctly. This is 1 cup of water. And if you're measuring to the top of the meniscus, that's 1 cup, and it's the little dash lines next to the number on this. Dump that all out. Still reading 0. First ingredient is the pure sesame oil. Some recipes call for dark. I don't think there's such a product, but pure sesame oil or toasted sesame oil is all about the same thing. I'm going to add 1 cup. Reading to the top of the meniscus. If you don't know what meniscus is, if you put liquid into a measuring cup, the side of it goes up a little. So I'm reading to the top of the meniscus. First ingredient, being the sesame oil, is 7.5 ounces. I arranged this recipe so I get in all my liquids, so when I get to my difficult ingredients, which happens to be the peanut butter and the tahini, I'm going to look for the volume rise in the container. The other thing also I'm going to do is I'm going to zero out each of the ingredients so we know what each one of them weighs. So that's back to 0. Okay. I need 1 cup of soy sauce. I'm going to do 1/3 of each. That was the less sodium. This is dark. I went easy on the dark sodium because it turns things very, very dark very quickly. And I'll bring this up to 2. And again, I'm going to be reading the top of the meniscus. And the oil, the soys were 9.5 ounces, 0 out that. And right now I'm at 2 cups. Going to add 1 cup of honey. That read 10.9 ounces. I'm going to zero that out. I'm going to add 2/3 of a cup of peanut butter. And then right after that, 2/3 a cup of tahini. I'm at 3 cups, so it's got to come up 2/3. That looks about it. So when I add the next 2/3, that'll be 4/3. So I'm going to be 1 1/3 cup over, so it should be about 4 1/3. But that weighed in at 5.5 ounces. reading 3 2/3 of a cup. This tahini is relatively new, so it's very smooth and not completely. Usually the solids like to sit to the bottom and get hard. Which is a problem. You can just take out the solids and use it. There's enough liquid in here to soften everything up. Since this is relatively fresh, I'm just going to stir it up and pour it in. So bring this up to 4 1/3. There's 4. And that's my guess of where 1/3 is. I don't think I zeroed out the last measurement since I'm reading 11.9 ounces. So I think the peanut butter and the tahini, and I can subtract the difference. The tahini was 6.4 ounces. We're going to zero that out. This is rice wine vinegar. Don't need the regular vinegar. Since there's such strong other flavors, you could probably get away with regular vinegar, but I've never tried it. So we're reading right now 4 1/3, and I'm going to add 2 tablespoons followed by 2 teaspoons. The reason why it's written that way is so that I don't make the mistake and confusing tablespoons for teaspoons. That was 2 ounces, 0.2 ounces. Wow, my scale really jumped there. It went from 0.2 to 0.7. One teaspoon, 2 teaspoons. Okay, and that's reading 1 ounce for the vinegar. Quarter cup of sherry is the same as 4 tablespoons. Zeroed. One, 2, 3, 4. That was 2.1 ounces. I still have to grate up my ginger and grate up my garlic. That's the garlic, there's the ginger. So I'll pause and I'll be right back.